Everybody needs a place to build their legacy, because the last thing you want to do is throw away your dream. If you dream to keep people healthy, or make great art, or be a part of something bigger than yourself, we know the place that's perfect for you. Daemen College is a place for creative problem solvers, innovative makers, and non-stop believers who transform their world into the place they want it to become. Apply now at daemen.edu.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Michael Kropp, President and CEO of Independent Health, and I welcome you to the Amherst Chamber of Commerce Board Installation and State of the Town Address. Independent Health has long been committed to supporting the Amherst Chamber of Commerce. As a business serving nearly 400,000 subscribers and employing over 1,200 people throughout Western New York, we're proud to call Amherst our home. Since 1980, the mission of Independent Health has been clear, ensuring we encourage a healthier and stronger Western New York population. Yet today, I join you virtually while we're still in the midst of a terrible pandemic. While many of us have been affected by COVID-19 in many different ways, we can all agree that it's incumbent upon us to do our part to keep our community safe, healthy, and open for business. The Amherst Chamber of Commerce has been a tremendous partner to Independent Health and the entire business community. Just as our company reaches the 8 Western New York counties, the Amherst Chamber of Commerce membership spans 79 unique zip codes from Buffalo to Rochester. It's why Independent Health remains committed to supporting this vital organization that helps so many small and large-sized businesses. During the pandemic, the Chamber assisted businesses in securing PPE supplies. They assisted members with their payroll protection program loan applications, educated members about the employee retention tax credit, and helped employers understand the ever-changing regulations coming from Washington and Albany and how it would impact their business. Independent Health remains a steadfast supporter of the Amherst Chamber of Commerce, and I thank you for joining us today. Like many of you, I look forward to hearing from our friend, Amherst Supervisor Brian Culpa, about his accomplishments over the past 4 years, and more importantly, his vision for our wonderful community over the next 4 years. I congratulate the incoming Board of Directors and wish my friend Mark Gollin the best of luck in the second year as chair. Finally, I would like to thank the Chamber for allowing me the opportunity to address all of you today and turn things over to their outstanding President and CEO, A.J. Baines.
Thank you, Dr. Kropp. Good morning. I'm A.J. Baines, President and CEO of the Amherst Chamber of Commerce. We are delighted you have taken the time to join us this morning as we formally install our 2022 Board of Directors and hear from our Town Supervisor, Brian Culpa, about what lies ahead. I would like to thank Dr. Kropp for his warm introduction and the support that he and Independent Health have offered our organization over the past decade. We greatly appreciate all that you do for our Chamber and the Western New York community. For the second year in a row, I stand here on the 3rd floor of the Research and Information Commons at Daemen College. Thank you to Daemen College President, Dr. Gary Olson, and his extraordinary team for their generosity in hosting this fantastic event. While I appreciate your generosity and willingness to host this event over the past 2 years, I know Supervisor Culpa and I, along with our board chair, Mark Gollin, look forward to next year when we will hopefully return to host this event in person with our usual sold-out attendance. While 2021 didn't present the same uncertainties that 2020 did, unfortunately, we were still faced with many of the same regulations being applied, lifted, and reapplied again. Yet, through the resiliency of the business community, they stood tall, and more often than not, worked twice as hard for half the reward. As the Chamber, we worked on a multitude of virtual programming to ensure that we kept our members connected, educated, and when regulations were lifted, we took full advantage of in-person events, bringing together hundreds of people to celebrate our Small Business Award recipients in July and honored those larger-scale businesses and community leaders that excelled throughout the year at the event this past October. In 2021, the Chamber recognized the need to play a more significant role in creating a more diverse and complete workforce in our region. We worked alongside Anika Samuels from National Fuel, the chairwoman of our Diversity and Inclusion Council, in bringing together community leaders such as Laura Zeppel, Laura Dolan, Brianna Crumpler, SUNY ECC interim president at the time, Bill Reuter, Luis Rodriguez, Lori Liss, Lou Costello, Janique Curry, to make a more meaningful impact in connecting people and opportunities and not just having a conversation. It is no secret that the competition to hire quality talent is at an all-time high. We hear from our members every single day about the need to fill critical positions within their organization. That is why the Chamber is working with one of the most successful not-for-profits in Western New York, Buffalo Prep, and their executive director, Patty Stephen, through their alumni prep program to connecting those outstanding graduates and job seekers with opportunities that exist in our community. The response from our Chamber membership has been overwhelming, and we look forward to continuing to build upon that relationship. I encourage you to reach out to our office if you have job opportunities within your organization. The Chamber remains committed to tackling economic development and public policy challenges no matter how big or small they are. The Chamber, once again, through the partnership with Erie County and Erie County Executive Mark Poloncarz, work collaboratively in administrating the Shop 716 program and promoting small businesses. To date, we have nearly 850 small business retailers, restaurants, and service providers participating in the program, with close to $3 million being spent in our local economy. In 2021, we brought elected officials such as Crystal Peoples-Stokes to meet with our Chamber members to fully explain the economic impact of legalized marijuana could have for those interested in participating in this new business. When she was then Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul, she met with our members in a question and answer forum, letting our members' voices be heard on important issues to them and their businesses. However, today, before we hear from Supervisor Kolpa about his vision for Amherst, we will listen to Donna DeCarolis, President of National Fuel Gas Distribution, headquartered here in Amherst, New York, a significant employer in our area. In 2019, New York State passed the most aggressive and ambitious climate laws in the country, the Climate Leadership and Community Protection Act. Within that legislation was the creation of a 22-member council whose focus would be on establishing the framework to achieve the legislation's goals. Donna DeCarolis serves as a member of the Climate Action Council. They have recently released a 330-page draft plan on how New York State will reduce greenhouse gases and achieve net zero emissions. While we all agree the need to strive for a greener New York State, it is a balancing act in protecting our environment, guaranteeing reliability, and ensuring we do not devastate our economy. The plan is currently under a 120-day public comment period. I now turn things over to our friend Donna DeCarolis to explain what that means and how we can let our voices be heard.
Hello all, and I'm sorry we can't be together in person today for the Amherst Chamber's annual meeting. Back in 2019, New York State adopted the most ambitious climate legislation in the country, more so than even California, cementing into statute New York State's commitment to achieving 70% renewable energy by 2030, 100% zero emissions electricity by 2040, and an 85% reduction in greenhouse gases economy-wide by 2050. And of course, we all know that emissions can and should be reduced. How we do so in a way that protects both the environment and safeguards our economy is the question and the challenge that we now have before us. I have had the honor of serving on New York's 22-member Climate Action Council, the group charged with advancing a detailed plan for how to meet our state's climate goals. The draft plan, called the Scoping Plan, was issued on December 30th, 2021, after nearly 2 years of deliberation, and is now open and available for public comment. My view is the head of a local natural gas utility serving 1.2 million people in 11 western New York counties, most of whom use our product for heat, is that of course we can and we should achieve the goals, but we need to do so in a way that has a balance. We need to consider consumer impacts and be certain that consumers will receive equally as safe and a reliable form of energy in the future as they have today. That they have a resilient energy delivery system that provides energy even in the face of severe weather events, like our 2006 October surprise and our 2014 Snowvember. And we need an energy transition that will be affordable for consumers, businesses, and manufacturing. So again, the draft plan is out, and when I speak with friends, family, and business colleagues in Western New York, few people seem to know anything about it or what's in it. So while I can't go through it in detail now, as it's 330 pages long, there are a few points that I think should be of keen interest to Western New Yorkers, including a number of statewide prohibitions. For example, no new gas service to existing buildings and no natural gas for newly constructed homes and buildings beginning in 2024. Starting in 2030, just 8 years from now, when your appliance is at the end of its life, no new gas appliances for heating, water heating, cooking, and clothes drying. And no gasoline automobiles can be sold beginning in 2035, with a goal for as close to 100% sale of electric vehicles by 2030 as possible. And also included in the plan is a high degree of required electrification, as I just described, but without the assurance of an equivalent energy delivery as equally reliable and resilient. In fact, a late December report from the New York electricity grid operator, the New York ISO, notes, and I'm quoting, reliability margins are thinning to concerning levels in 2023. We have to move carefully with a grid in transition in order to maintain reliability and avoid the kind of problems we've seen in other parts of the U.S. And unfortunately, proposed mandates like those that I just described and that are shown here on the slide will be more burdensome for Western New Yorkers relative to downstate for a number of reasons. Because first, Western New York is 50% colder than downstate, at least for the past 10 years it has been. 94% of the energy on a cold winter day is provided by natural gas and the natural gas delivery system in our region. And our houses are older, larger, and use more energy. As well, Buffalo is the third poorest city in the nation. So taking these all together, the burden of decarbonizing will fall the hardest upon upstate and Western New York when downstate actually produces far more emissions. Well, we can reach the state goals, and we think that we should do so in a way that is less burdensome for consumers, using an all-of-the-above approach. And really, that relies on three key building blocks shown here. First, widespread energy efficiency with an emphasis on weatherization for buildings and homes. Dual energy heating and cooling systems, which would include natural gas high-efficiency furnaces along with an air source heat pump. So you have a combination of natural gas and electricity for heating in a cold climate like ours. And then, of course, the use of the existing natural gas infrastructure across our state and in our region to incorporate low-carbon fuels like renewable natural gas and hydrogen to help reduce the emissions profile of the energy that we're delivering. These three in combination will yield a 93% emissions reduction for our region, which is beyond the goal of 85% that the state is requiring. And we can do it in a way that's less burdensome for consumers. So what are we saying as a company, as National Fuel, about the draft scoping plan, and what have I been saying as a Climate Action Council member, is that yes, of course, to lower emissions, but with a careful, deliberate, consumer-focused energy transition. And we say yes to energy efficiency is the step one to getting us to our goals. It's the most cost-effective and immediate way to reduce emissions. Yes to a dual heat pathway is essential in a cold Western New York climate, and that means no to gas appliance bans. And yes to the use of low-carbon renewable natural gas and hydrogen for lowering emissions in the heating sector. And of course, yes for using the combination of a natural gas delivery system and the electric grid for a reliable, resilient, overall, better energy system for everyone. And that means no to decommissioning of the natural gas system. So I thank you to AJ and the Amherst Chamber for your partnership, your advocacy on behalf of members, and your good stewardship within the community. New York is asking to hear views from every consumer on the energy policies being considered, and frankly, your voice is needed, as the potential outcome could very well be that we will all pay more, potentially far more, for a system that could be less reliable. And what can you do? Send an email for the public comment period or even attend a public meeting that will be scheduled sometime this spring to get your thoughts on the record. National Fuel will work with AJ and the Chamber closely to provide a simple and easy way for you to participate during the public comment period. So please stay tuned. I do write a weekly piece on New York's climate legislation that I post on my personal LinkedIn, so please follow me to stay informed. I look forward to continuing to connect with you, and thank you again for your time today.
I appreciate you providing clarity on this issue and how we can keep our members engaged. But more importantly, I appreciate everything that you and National Fuel do for the Amherst Chamber of Commerce. Look forward to working with you in the future on this critical issue. Today we install our 2022 Board of Directors with our Chairman, Mark Gallen's re-election. Our Board of Directors comprises community leaders from many different industries who volunteer their time and energies to ensure we create a more prosperous Western New York economy. For our Board of Directors, we have Michael Anderson from Bank on Buffalo, Rich Argentieri, Independent Health, Dr. David Balkin, SUNY Erie President, Christy Barker, Ellicott Development, Judy Baumgartner, Kaleida Health, Steve Bertini, Wegmans, Jody Brandy, Hurwitz and Fine, Rachel Brown, Employee Services Corp., Elizabeth Carey, AAA, Kyle Simonelli Real Estate, Paul Coleman, KeyBank, Frank Camiso, West Her Automotive, Ann Constantino, The Horizon Companies, Andy Davis, ECMC, Larissa Damagala, Independent Health, Tricia Dwygan, Geico, Dr. Michael Edbauer, Highmark of Western New York, Eric Ekman, McGuire Development Company, Scott Ernst, Milco Energy Corp., David Flynn, Phillips Lyle, John Gadigan, Endeavor Western New York, Holly Hubert, Global Security IQ, Bill Johnson, Nesper Ferber, DiGiacomo Johnson and Grimm, Brendan Little, Lippis Mathias, Frank Latempio III, Latempio PC Law, Walt Ludwig, Catholic Health, Elena Mendel, National Fuel, David Menjoya, Amherst IDA, Jeff Panza, LaChase Construction, Pam Polensky, Univera Healthcare, Ken Pollock, Evans Bank, Pete Petrella, Eleron, Mike Piskevich, Wendell Companies, Luis Rodriguez, Rodriguez Construction, Anika Samuels, National Fuel, Sal Chandra, Fry Electric, Laura Dolan, Bank of America, Mary Grace Welch, National Grid, Earl Wells III, E3 Communications, Luke Leppel, M&T Bank, and Laura Zeppel, Uniland Development. We have two messages of congratulations, one from the recently announced Empire State Development Acting Commissioner, Hope Knight, and New York State Comptroller, Thomas DiNapoli. The Chamber appreciates the support, and we look forward to working with them in the future.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Hope Knight, and I serve as the Acting Commissioner and President and CEO Designate of Empire State Development. On behalf of Governor Kathy Hochul and the entire team at ESD, I want to thank you for having me join you for today's event. I'd like to acknowledge Supervisor Brian Culpa and the terrific work he's doing in Amherst. I'd also like to congratulate the Amherst Chamber of Commerce for installing its 2022 Board of Directors. I want to recognize Mark Gallen on his re-election to Board Chair. Governor Hochul is committed to supporting small businesses across the state, especially as we continue rebuilding our economy in the wake of the pandemic. Organizations like the Amherst Chamber of Commerce are vital to that effort. They are partners in economic development, supporting the growth of business communities across the state. And they amplify the efforts of our regional economic development councils. That bottom-up, community-driven approach is supporting investments in small business, infrastructure, and shovel-ready projects. This year, the regional councils will be especially vital to our workforce development efforts. Governor Hochul has proposed a new Office of Workforce and Economic Development within ESD. This new office will coordinate all workforce efforts statewide through the regional councils and in partnership with the Department of Labor, SUNY, CUNY, and other state agencies. We will work to close the skills gap and ensure New Yorkers have the skills needed to grow existing businesses and attract new companies to invest here. As a member of the Western New York REDC, your Chamber of Commerce President and CEO, A.J. Baines, will serve as a voice for upstate businesses, and I look forward to working together with him. So in closing, on behalf of Governor Hochul, I congratulate the members of this great organization. Thank you for the opportunity, and I wish you a happy and successful year ahead. Good morning, everyone.
Hi, this is New York State Controller Tom DiNapoli. I'm happy to join you for the Amherst State of the Town presentation and the Amherst Chamber of Commerce's board induction. Congratulations to the 2022 Board of Directors. Small businesses are the backbone of New York's economy, and I recognize the struggles you have experienced during the COVID-19 pandemic. Federal and state aid programs have helped many businesses survive this challenging time, but we must continue to support small businesses and nonprofits as we move toward economic recovery. My office just issued a report on Governor Hochul's proposed budget. There is good news in the report. Thanks to an unprecedented amount of federal relief, as well as tax collections that are more than $10 billion higher than initially projected, New York is on solid fiscal footing. However, the pandemic's continued uncertainty makes forecasting difficult, while inflation and supply chain issues remain risks to the state's economy and financial plan. It's imperative that we keep an eye on the years ahead, when temporary federal funding will end, and build up the state's reserves so we are better prepared for future emergencies or an economic downturn. I want to acknowledge Amherst Town Supervisor Brian Culpa and thank him for inviting me to say a few words today. Brian has been a great leader for the town and a good friend to me. And my thanks to Amherst Chamber of Commerce President A.J. Baines. I salute you and the Chamber team for your outstanding efforts as one of our state's leading chambers of commerce. I wish you all health and prosperity in 2022.
Thank you, Acting Commissioner Knight and New York State Controller DiNapoli, for your participation today and your congratulations. It's been my pleasure and honor to serve as the Amherst Chamber of Commerce Chairman for the past year. And while we have accomplished great things in 2021, I am thrilled to serve as Chairman for another year, as there's always more work to be done. John F. Kennedy once said, "When written in Chinese, the word crisis is composed of two characters, one representing danger and the other representing opportunity." While we have faced great danger during the pandemic, many of us losing loved ones, we still have many opportunities in front of us as we move towards a more connected business community that is stronger than ever before. As president of PCI, we used this past year to strengthen our business, to search for the best talent. We moved our offices into the Syndicate 1 Tower, and we were relentless in our pursuit to build a stronger company. I know PCI was no different from any other member of the Chamber or any other business, for that matter, across the country. As Americans and as human beings, we are resilient. We will always continue to move forward. While difficult days still lie ahead, we have plenty of work to do, and I remain inspired by the work being done to ensure the next generation of Western New Yorkers can remain here. As chair of the Amherst Chamber of Commerce, I'm thrilled to report that our financial position has never been stronger. I'm encouraged by the new members that have joined over the past 60 days, outpacing new membership from the same time 1 year ago. These positive signs are all around us, and as the Chamber embarks on its 65th year, it's encouraging to see such a solid upward path. Since our humble beginning 65 years ago, the Amherst Chamber of Commerce has grown into a regional powerhouse that represents a passionate advocate for our business community. I thank all of you for being here today, albeit virtually. Hopefully next year we'll be back in person, shattering the previous attendance records. I thank my fellow directors for their support and confidence in me as chair of the board, and I thank AJ and the team here at the Chamber
for their dedication to ensuring a more prosperous region for all of us. And lastly, I thank you, the members, for your continued commitment to our organization, and know that the Chamber's door is always open. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for your investment in our tremendous organization. And now I turn things back over to AJ.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate you agreeing to lead our board for another year, and more importantly, your friendship over the past year. And I look forward to another great year ahead. It is now my pleasure to introduce the recently re-elected Town of Amherst Supervisor, Brian Kulpa. Brian is and continues to be a great friend to our organization, always willing to assist in any challenges our members might have. He has been a thoughtful and responsible elected official, but more importantly, he has always been focused on how we make things better. During his time as village mayor, Brian developed and succeeded in securing funding for Picture Main Street in 2013. That plan was to create a more walkable village to revitalize Spring Street and the Williamsville Mill. While the project didn't fully come to fruition until he left as mayor to become our supervisor, it's a prime example of Brian's big picture thinking. His desire to create and build things for a better tomorrow, regardless of his role. Supervisor, I appreciate your open door policy and have valued our friendship even before you and I stepped into our current roles. Thank you for being with us today, and I know everyone is looking forward to what you have to say.
All right, well, thank you, AJ. I appreciate that very warm welcome. I'm happy to be here today at Daemen. As this pandemic has gone on, I've found myself to be a bit of a fixture on the third floor with this production team. They have, whether it's been a Daemen video or something related to last year's State of the Town, started moving my office furniture in a few months back. So I know that nobody will be happier to see the pandemic end than this particular group of people. Daemen is a wonderful partner. It's also a quick 1.5 miles from Town Hall, straight down Main Street. So in Williamsville traffic, it's about a half hour. I left slightly before dawn this morning. I want to thank the Chamber. The Chamber, AJ, his team, Mark, you've been wonderful hosts over the years for this event, but you've been wonderful allies and wonderful communicators with the Town of Amherst. Really, it's AJ said open door, and that's what we try to foster is this open environment where businesses and the town can interact. If you're not a Chamber member and you're a business, I recommend you check it out. If you are a Chamber member, get involved. As businesses go, we're looking forward to seeing everybody have a wonderful 2022 coming up. There's going to be a lot of hard work ahead, so I want to make sure everybody out there remembers, what's important in life. Call your mom now and then. Keep your sidewalks clear. But when AJ told me we were going to be virtual again this year, neither of us were excited about it. And I think that goes without saying. First, we'd rather be in that room with all of you, but second, somebody's going to owe me lunch at the end of this thing. Ultimately, the business in Amherst has been rebounding, right? This past year, we've seen a tremendous growth and new businesses coming in. LL Bean landed, and everybody was excited about that. Macy's renewed their lease at the Boulevard Mall, bringing new life to that store, and thus, my mother told me I've kept all of my campaign promises that really mattered. In that light, I'm very happy to be here starting my second term as Amherst supervisor. We have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of infrastructure work. We have a lot of work to do in our economy. I can't do that without my team. Specifically this year, as we're getting ready for the State of the Town, Jessica O'Neill and Craig Johnson had to help me put together a presentation that was very different and have to cut it down to 18 minutes, which AJ has not started yet. As far as the presentation goes, it's different this year because we decided to try to get out and get into the community a little and talk to people. Also, because of that, my team took advantage and limited me from using any Lord of the Rings references. In putting it together, we have to kind of work through a bunch of different presentations I've done through the year. First, kind of find them. After that, we have to bring them all together, and then ultimately, with this presentation, bind them. So this is that one presentation.
As part of our recovery plan, Amherst has been working on replacing a third of our local economy. Currently, a third of our local economy is based in retail. Retail wasn't in trouble before the pandemic. Big retail certainly is in trouble now. A third of our economy means blue-collar, white-collar jobs. It means replacing loss in tax value and replacing not only transactions but visitors. Amherst is turning towards the biomedical field and biomedical industry, which we already have a wonderful start on. Along the 290 and 90, Amherst has and will be continuing to invest in a cutting-edge medical spine. The medical spine of Amherst includes several key elements centered in orthopedic and neurologic specialties. Already in place, we have Dent Neurologic, Excelsior, UBMD, Ortho, and UBMD Neuro, Winson Radiology, amongst others. Coming soon to that center will be Roswell Park. Roswell Park's Beeler Amherst Center is a 26,000 square foot facility that will create a northern Western New York hub for high quality comprehensive cancer care. I'm happy to be here at Roswell Park with Dr. Candace Johnson, who is a phenomenal partner to so many organizations in Western New York, including the town of Amherst. Candace, thank you for taking some time for us.
It's a pleasure to be here with you today.
So I think it goes without saying that all of Amherst is excited, and sounds like the institution is too, to have you now being in campus officially.
I think we're really over the moon about this, quite honestly, and to be right sort of in the center of Amherst, the location is just so perfect for us. And people want to be treated close to home when we know this. I mean, we ask patients, and you don't want people to hesitate to come in and get screened or to talk to their physician, and so being in their neighborhood is really where we need to be.
You know, so many families in Western New York have been touched by Roswell Park. And, my wife once made a mention as we were going through the many complications that you go through as you're trying to get a project off the ground, that I had a soft spot or developed a soft spot for Roswell. I said, it's easy to develop a soft spot for hope, right? And
Most definitely there.
So the last thing I wanted to ask about, Governor Hochul in her State of the State mentioned the state's emphasis on healthcare workers and workforce development and retention.
Yes.
And I saw recently in Business First that Roswell has taken some pretty unique direction in terms of workforce retention, and it seems like you have things going in a good place right now.
People think, geez, maybe I shouldn't be a nurse, maybe I should get out of this. And so we want to keep people in their jobs doing the wonderful things. And so we've built this resilience program that's really caters to the healthcare worker to make sure they get what they need so that they can do their jobs every day and feel good about it and not sort of be spiraling down in depression because it's tough.
Thank you so much. Again, it is an honor to have the institution in Amherst. It's a real honor to be able to work with you on a regular basis, and we look forward to this construction and your opening, and thank you again for being with us today.
Well, thank you for inviting me, and we're delighted to be there, and we're going to deliver these cutting-edge services, and we're going to make a difference in people's lives.
Great.
Together.
The medical spine is not just about the professional medical environment. It also has to do with workforce development training and is a bridge into our academics. Both UB and Daemen College have wonderful medical programs, pre-medical programs, sports science programs, and as such, I had an opportunity to sit down with the president of Daemen College.
I am excited to be on Daemen College's campus, a major contributing organization to the town of Amherst community, and I'm very pleased to be joined here by my good friend and cohort in all things economic development and development, Dr. Gary Olson. Thank you for having us here today and for being part of this.
Well, thank you, Brian. Thank you for thinking of us when you wanted to schedule this important event.
Wonderful story to see Daemen flourish here in the town of Amherst. And, I happen to see business first. Attendance is looking good, and things are going the right direction.
In fact, there are 20 colleges and universities in the region, and for this last year, we beat out all of them with enrollment increase, almost 6%. So, in fact, I think it was 80% of them actually had decrease. So,
well, that's a testament.
We're part of that.
It's a testament to Daemen. It's a testament to the leadership that your team has. Really honored earlier this past year to be able to stand with you and Dr. Shakin to announce a pretty exciting endeavor when it comes to spinal injury and sports medicine.
That's right. There's not a center that includes all of the robotic kinds of machinery that can help everybody who has some kind of spinal injury or other injury where they have to rehabilitate with the help of robots, all in one place. You might have one in one hospital, a different kind in another hospital. And so this will be a true center of that to help people rehabilitate from usually really serious injuries.
And you've been such a wonderful participant in our Amherst recovery plan, our economic plan. And it is amazing because that program touches that plan in two different ways, right? It adds to our medical spine, and it adds that workforce development that the governors talk about is so important to healthcare. But it also has let us form that town and gown connection in one more really robust way. And that intersection of the 290 and Kensington coming together with Main Street, pretty exciting to be able to establish a campus presence over there.
That's right.
Not to jump away from your academics for a minute, but to have your now elevated athletic program also working with us over there is pretty cool.
That's right. Westworld Park, and we're partnering with Amherst to help really build up that existing area. So it's very exciting.
A brand new athletic complex, tennis courts, multi-surface field, lit, gives you a presence along the thruway, gives Amherst a wonderful facility, and what a wonderful partnership, and what a wonderful way to celebrate our partnership.
Hi, I'm Amy Buddy. The town of Amherst is home to the Buffalo Buttes and the PHF, and we're super excited to be investing in athletics.
The Northtown Center, which is the home to the Buffalo Buttes, is a major piece of our athletics in the town of Amherst, supplying access for people of all ages to ice sports. As we move forward with exciting projects in 2022, we will be working on the development and the construction of a fifth ice pad, a signature facility that will be home to U.S. sled hockey and the Buffalo Buttes, along with so many of our wonderful hockey and ice sports here in the town for years to come. But it's not just athletics. Active play is so important to all of our youth. This year, the town of Amherst will be investing $1 million into playgrounds throughout the town. This will make an enormous impact on many of our communities. It's an exciting opportunity and one that we are attributing to the hard work of our Youth and Rec department. Bringing together outdoor activities from passive to active, from athletics to open space play, is the mission of Amherst Central Park. An opportunity to sit down with Dan Hamster from the Hamster Corporation and the Mensch Group to talk a little bit about this entire project.
Well, I'm very pleased to be joined by Dan Hamster, managing partner of the Mensch Partnership. Dan, thank you for joining us today to talk about some really exciting movement we have on Westwood and Central Park.
Yeah, thank you, Supervisor Culpa. This property's history is unique, as you know. It was operating as a golf course and country club for over 70 years, but it has a new future now, and that is Amherst Central Park. And I'm excited to be a part of this project. My family and I are Amherst residents, so is one of the two other Mensch partners, and we take advantage of many of the town amenities that it offers. And this is going to be a world-class park. As the town's population continues to grow, it's going to have a greater need for more recreational space. And Amherst Central Park fills that need, increasing the town's recreational space by 14%.
Well, Dan, thank you so much for everything you and your partnership and your family have done and are doing. Goes without saying that we wouldn't be able to be here today if I didn't have your family to interact with. Your father was a mentor to me in a lot of this, and we look forward to working with you.
No, thank you. On behalf of Mensch Capital Partners, we're ready to get to work to generate some jobs, clean up the land, and build this new park. And I look forward to joining you, Supervisor Culpa, as well as all other town residents at Amherst Central Park when we officially open it.
We'll be there, and we'll be there with musical fair as part of it.
I'm happy to be here at Musical Fair Theater with Randy Kramer, and we're excited about what's coming into the town of Amherst.
Oh boy, so are we. So are we. I mean, we've been here at Daemen College for the past 30 plus years. But now this is the next stage for us, and actually the next stage for the town of Amherst. A brand new theater on the Westwood, the previous Westwood property right next to the clubhouse there, and we're going to have a 250-seat theater, so it'll still be intimate, but it will be larger. And we really think it's going to be the kind of theater and the kind of community gathering place that a great town like Amherst really deserves, and we're looking forward to it.
Mike Batting was one member of many that participated in an award-winning agricultural business plan. That business plan will result in our investments and protection of agricultural land for years to come, including the potential development of an agricultural business park along Millersport. Importantly, we've taken into account the need for access to power and access to sustainable resource. We've put our efforts to create community solar projects in balance with agriculture by having projects incorporate live agriculture into their solar development. This could include anything from sheep grazing to the production of local honey to the growing of cut flowers. Ultimately, we in Amherst understand the balance that is needed between nature and power, between nature and development. And that's why I'm very excited that we're introducing for the first time in Amherst's history a 4-H club, which will be coordinated with our recreation departments and youth department. The 4-H club will give children access to an understanding of agriculture and a celebration of agriculture and help develop the farmers of tomorrow.
I'm here at Batting Farms with Mike Batting, farmer and owner of this wonderful store, center, and greenhouse situation, nursery. I think you guys just about do everything here. Mike, how are things going here at Amherst?
We've been doing pretty well so far. We really have. Coming off of the pandemic, it seemed like everybody wanted to garden as a hobby, which is great because it's safe, it's outdoors, you can do it on your own.
And you've got some growth plans here.
We do, yep. So we're working on putting up a new greenhouse, another 3,500 square feet for growing, specifically because we've seen the need and the desire of Amherst residents and local people who want to grow their
their own vegetables in their backyard. And so we're really focusing on vegetable growing, home gardening, houseplants, all that stuff.
And sometimes, as big as Amherst is, people forget about the large amount of land and the large amount of our economy that is still steeped in local agriculture.
For us, my wife and I coming into the business now, we want to be here for another 30 years. We've been here for 40. We want to be here for another 40 if we can. And what it's going to look like going into the future.
From the open green fields of agriculture to the open gray fields of our retail environment, Amherst has spent a lot of time working with the development community on the appropriate way to replace some of our legacy big box retail. You can see it in the changes that are coming in the Boulevard Mall, where we're currently undertaking infrastructure design activities with Douglas Jamal and Douglas Development. You can also see it in other locations, like Station 12 and WS Development. I had an opportunity recently to sit down with leadership from WS Development.
Well, I'm happy to be joined by Brian Sierra from WS Development. The company has been working on Station 12 and is responsible for good projects like Whole Foods, and I hear we have a little bit of action at Station 12.
And we're excited to get back after it, and excited to get this project open. I think you'll see activity on the site within a few weeks to a month or so. Our goal and our hope, and I think we can make it happen, is to have tenants start to open in 2023.
And At Home is still moving along? And
yes, At Home is full speed ahead, and we look forward to announcing other exciting tenants in the near future.
Well, 2 years ago at my State of the Town, we announced Station 12, so I'm happy to be re-announcing Station 12 today.
Amherst is actively redefining what it means to be a suburban town in Western New York. Joining me next is Congressman Higgins, who will talk a little bit about his perspective and the direction Amherst is heading.
Thank you, Congressman Higgins, for being part of this conversation and being part of the State of the Town. Congressman Higgins, you've represented Amherst now for a few terms, and I wanted to ask you, what your thoughts are as Amherst emerges from this pandemic. What are your hopes and aspirations for the town?
Well, Amherst is a vibrant community that is, I think, attempting and successfully, in a large part under your vision, to enhance the quality of life. You have a very safe community. You have a highly professional police force, have for a long time. These are things that are quality of life issues that people look to as it relates to, where they want to live and visit.
Congressman, you were a long-time proponent and one of the forces that really helped secure the American Rescue Plan funding and the block grant funding that came before it to help municipalities overcome the effects of the economic distress of this pandemic.
Yeah, my hope is that we would come out of this pandemic stronger and better. And that includes every city, every town, and every village.
Thank you, Congressman Higgins. It's an honor to have you here with us for the state of the town. I appreciate everything, and I will look forward to talking with you very soon.
Sounds great, Brian. Thank you very much, and thanks for having me.
All right. Well, thank you all again. And AJ, thank you very much. Thank you to Chamber of Commerce. Thank you to Daemen College. I'm going back to Town Hall now to work on infrastructure at the Boulevard Mall. I'm imagining a new future at ECC's North Campus, and most importantly, to get some coffee. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, Supervisor, for that, and I thank all of you for joining us today. Thank you once again to Daemen College for hosting us, Dr. Michael Kropp, New York State Controller Tom DiNapoli, Acting Commissioner Hope Knight. Congratulations to our 2022 Board of Directors, and thank you for the leadership of our Chairman, Mark Ballin. We look forward to a successful 2022, and I thank our incredible team at the Chamber for their hard work. I wish everyone a great weekend, and please remember that the Chamber is here to serve as an extension of your brand. Our door is always open. Thank you, and have a great weekend.
Everybody needs a place to build their legacy, because the last thing you want to do is throw away your dream. If you dream to keep people healthy, or make great art, or be a part of something bigger than yourself, we know the place that's perfect for you. Daemen College is a place for creative problem solvers, innovative makers, and nonstop believers who transform their world into the place they want it to become. Apply